Yeah, so like overall, what did you think of Suicide Squad? Kill the Justice League.
Or kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
Overall, I'm excited for it. This is made by Rocksteady, or is being developed by Rocksteady. Um, I'm kind of interested on how they're gonna do it. And obviously the first trailer, it gave us a little piece, a little snippet. But I'm more interested. Well, which is supposed to do, but I'm really interested on, like, so it's Suicide Squad kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
So we saw Superman at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
Uh, but did you notice in the beginning of the trailer you saw that those three little, connected, like, basically it's Brainiac, that little giant robot head that was like with tentacles, was like a nod to Brainiac. And I wonder, with the whole, like, Superman was looking evil, possibly, some Brainiac mind control type stuff. But I don't know. It's like the trailer really caught me, that the Outcast bombs over Baghdad was really, really good. Made it really engaging. Kind of made it like even more hype. But yeah, I'm hyped for it. I just want to see more. Uh, what do you think?
I thought it was good. Also, I think they really nailed like the tone. Like they fixed the right music with it. It led me wanting more to see more, like you had said. And I like how they showed Superman at the end, but they didn't make him the focus. Because I think this could have turned out bad, where they showed him the whole trailer and it'd be like, okay, we still don't know anything. But I think the one part I think they managed to do the best was like the interaction between the characters, like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and Boomerang or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, I like that. I'm not super well versed in Suicide Squad, but I know of, like, I know I'm enough to kind of put things together. And yeah, I like that banter. But the thing with the Suicide Squad, they have that banter. They go back and forth. They call themselves stupid, do this and that. They roast each other. And from that little teaser, I could see that they're already gonna start they already have that banter. They already have that kind of camaraderie
yeah,
together. And that's really good. That, if that continues, I'm not gonna be really worried about, like, how it is. And every character felt like themselves, like from what certain, like, DC animated movies I watched. They seem like they're the same character, like same persona.
yeah,
Deadshot always talking about, like, oh, I don't miss, blah blah blah, yeah, this and that. And then Captain Boomerang just being like a total dick, and stuff like that. And King Shark not saying much, like.
yeah,
And then this Harley Quinn is being a super psychotic person character that she is, and stuff like that. And like I said, the banter was really playful. It felt organic. It didn't felt like, you know it felt out of place. So that's a good sign for, like, for the whole, I guess, overall story for the game. I'm gonna enjoy that. My concern is that, are there gonna I'm sure there gonna be more Suicide Squad members. I hope, because there's more than just four Suicide Squad characters who are actually in that group. But yeah,
yeah. That's
what about
my
you?
yeah. That's one of my main concerns. Also, now that you bring it up, because this game is gonna get compared to Avengers a lot, because the
Mhm.
gameplay is basically gonna be the same, except like one's Marvel, one's DC. But the one thing with Avengers is that when you think Avengers, and this is due to like the movies, the comics and stuff, you have like all these people you can think of as characters. Well, that's the issue with Suicide Squad, is like, if you didn't watch the movie, or you're not a hard like a hard fan of like the comic books, you don't know who else is gonna be in the Suicide Squad. So when you see the trailer, you only see the four characters. Like, is that gonna be it? I couldn't even tell you who else they're gonna add. And there's some people saying that, oh, like I don't know, like Batman or some random like DC hero might join you to take down Superman, but I think that would ruin the purpose of the game, especially if they're trying to have like good character interaction within the actual core members of the Suicide Squad itself.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too. Perfect comparison. This game is going to be compared to Marvel's Avengers, even whenever it comes out, even if it's like 2022. You know what I mean? Or I highly doubt this is a 2021 game.
Yeah, because
I,
they
th-
already
I
said 2022.
Yeah. So 2 years from now, they're gonna compare this to Avengers, and then we're gonna see how they differ, and hopefully they have different characters to play with, and hopefully like they're characters that I guess not like they're known. So like
Yeah.
a perfect example is I was watching the kind of staying in the DC universe. I watched Justice League Dark Apocalypse War,
Yeah.
and that that tied in with the Suicide Squad. So the Suicide Squad was there, and they had several members. Um, but it had they had several other members. But in that movie, they end up having so basically not to get into it, but they had Lex Luthor like help like the Suicide Squad like hold down like a place because of there's a whole war going on and this and that. So they could add I feel like they don't have to stick to the canon.
Yeah.
It's a video game. They don't have to. It would be great if they did for like the hardcore fans, but in this they don't have to. They could put like a Lex Luthor.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't have you know what I mean? Like everyone knows who Lex Luthor is. That's Superman's like arch enemy. Like you know what I mean? So they could put big super villains in there. So
Yeah.
Lex Luthor could be one. Like who
Yeah, because I was
else?
gonna ask you, do you think instead of just like do you think they're just gonna start out with core Suicide Squad members and then branch out to just DC
I
villains?
think I think so. Like I feel like another big one that could be like really really good in for that game is Deathstroke.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that honestly, because
That
if you
Deathstroke
notice,
could be a good one.
like all four of them, because they even said like the main combat is gonna be like either like gun focused or like sort of melee, and so
Hmm.
like he would be perfect, but I think he would probably end
Yeah,
up being DLC. Like if we're being honest.
I feel. Yeah, I feel like he's not gonna be at launch. I feel like to gain more traction, he'll be like DLC, or I can see them be like pre-order now and get Deathstroke like type stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just hope that like we were saying, it's gonna be compared to Marvel's Avengers. It's obviously they're gonna be two different games because of the overall story. But since we're comparing them, do you think they're gonna have a lot of support for the game? Like, so we know there's a campaign. We know
Yeah.
there's gonna be co-op, right? Is it
Yeah.
confirmed co-op? Okay. What's beyond that? What's the replayability?
Who
Is there gonna
knows?
be you know what I mean? Like what is it? The war table type thing where you could do like a bunch of missions with your friends online and stuff like that? Like what's beyond that?
I think okay, so here's the thing, like because they had already mentioned that it's gonna basically be their version of Marvel's Avengers. You know, they didn't say Marvel's Avengers, but they said
Of course.
from the leaks and stuff and the rumors that it was gonna
Okay.
be like a 4-player games as a service type game. And that so I think what they're doing, they haven't said much. They showed the trailer and they said the dates and they said next gen only. And I think that's because they're seeing how people are reacting to Marvel's Avengers already and they're not getting put in a positive light, so they're wanting to stay away from that as much as they can. But at the same time, this is like the perfect opportunity for them to be like, hey, look, we're doing stuff right. This is how we're actually doing it. But at the same time, the game is 2 years away, and I don't think they're ready to actually say that yet.
How do you feel about like going off what you just said? How do you feel about it being next gen? Like it's not cross gen, it's next gen. You think that's going to be detrimental to like the game in regards to how it's gonna run, or how like they're gonna be using new technologies. They're building it from the ground up. They don't have to worry about you know do like code, well, not coding for both, but like they have to drop they have to drop current gen, and then they have to do like the next gen updates. You think it's gonna be better for them to just focus on the next gen and build it from the ground up that way?
So here's what I think. Okay, so if we're talking about like if we compare it to Marvel's Avengers, right, and Suicide Squad, and we compare like the overall, because they're pushing both these games as platforms. They're not gonna like dump another one out like 2 years after the first game releases. They're gonna hopefully want it for like the whole console life cycle and even probably longer. So I think overall, Suicide Squad will end up being better only because by 2022 they'll have a grip on how to handle the next gen hardware, and they won't be limited by the current gen hardware like Marvel's Avengers is, because we played the beta on PS4 and that thing ran terribly, honestly. And the other thing is that they won't have to worry about segmenting their player base from like
Mhm.
current gen to next gen. Everyone's already gonna be on like either Xbox Series X or PS5 or PC or whatever. So they don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that. And then they don't have to worry about like, oh, is current gen holding back the next gen of the game? When do we actually drop support for a current gen? So already Suicide Squad is gonna like not have a bunch of those issues. The only thing that Avengers is gonna have the leg up on is that, so Suicide Squad is not coming out till 2022. Avengers is about to come out like this week or next week or whatever.
Yeah.
So Avengers is already gonna be in place 2 years basically before Suicide Squad comes out. That means they have the opportunity to add DLC, to fix bugs, to fix issues with gameplay, to have a player base and have people invested. Plus their DLC is free. So like people are gonna get heavily invested in it. So I think that's only gonna be the biggest battle against Suicide Squad, because no one knows Suicide Squad could have the exact same structure as Marvel's Avengers, but no one knows. So they could be like, oh, the Marvel's Avengers gameplay is boring, it's repetitive. And then that person thinking, oh, maybe Suicide Squad is gonna be better, and then Suicide Squad game comes out and they're like, oh, this was just like Avengers. But at the 2 year mark of Avengers, they probably like, all right, it's no longer repetitive, we added new types of missions and stuff. So that's what I feel like could be the biggest differentiator between the two of them. But what do you think?
I feel like with the whole Marvels and Suicide Squad, I just want to like I'm very curious on the game's life cycle, which since it's a game service.
Yeah,
I
games as a
don't know what the
service.
games. Yeah, I'm interested on how they're gonna continue to do like support, because we saw this time and time again. The issue that happens when a game is like that, i.e., Destiny,
Yeah.
i.e., Division, is when it drops, there's no content.
Yep.
Even when they told us to our faces, there's gonna be ton of content.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid that Marvel and Suicide Squad are gonna have that issue. I feel like they're gonna say that they're gonna say that, oh, we have all this content, we're gonna have new members of the Suicide Squad coming every other month, type thing.
Yeah.
Or every few, you know what I mean, they're gonna give us that Destiny 2 vibe where it's like, this is the roadmap.
Oh yeah.
And then like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, same with doesn't Marvel have a roadmap that they're working? Do they have a roadmap?
They technically they do. They haven't showed anything with dates, but they said like okay, here's like 8 or 10 heroes or something like that. They're gonna be like showing off, like even in the newest war table or live stream event that they're gonna have on September 1st. I think they're gonna announce another DLC character. So I feel like they're gonna eventually they're gonna have to show their roadmap, and since this is the last live stream event before the game comes out, I think they're gonna finally actually show their roadmap in more detail.
I I hope so. Like I really want that. Because you would think that these game companies who do these games and services like would have learned like from like other companies' mistakes, and I feel like they always continue to do that mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that I think that it could be maybe funding, maybe like they exceeded their funds, and they're like, oh, we don't have anything,
I
so
think
we just have to wait until post and then see what we get after.
Yeah, I'm hoping, like, I think I have a little more right now. Like, right now, I have a little more faith in Avengers because they have easy source. They could easily just add a character. And they said they were going to add, like, a story mission or whatever, or a couple missions with each character. So, like, because they already announced what, like, they already announced, like, two characters. They announced Hawkeye and Spider-Man, and they're about to announce a third one, and the game's not even out yet. So if they're announcing characters this consistently and this frequently, it makes me think there's gonna be a lot of characters, and it makes me think they're gonna drop a character either every month or every other month, which would be a good frequency for content drops for this type of game.
Yeah. I guess we just gotta wait and see. But overall, I am hyped. I am hyped. Even like speaking about Marvel, I want to see when it drops, and then
Yeah.
see what they do with content, and then I might be persuaded to even purchase it. You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah.
just
See,
time will tell.
like, okay, so with Suicide Squad, right? The only my fear with Suicide Squad is if they only come out with those four characters, or maybe if they announce one or two more, and they only launch with six, like Avengers is about to do, is that by the time 2 years comes up, is Marvel Avengers gonna have like 30, 40 characters compared to Suicide Squad where they only have six? And I feel like people
Exactly.
are actually gonna take that comparison and be like, man, Suicide Squad really has no content. And I feel like that's the narrative that's really gonna take place. They might say, oh, Suicide Squad might play better and look better, but it's sort of content light compared to Avengers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we'll wait and see.